Hello everybody, I am Andy McDaniel and welcome back to Critical Point. When we left off, we had super duper sex with Elise the android, and now there's a call coming in from the terminal, so let's see what happens. A call came through from the terminal. Elise ran to answer it. Oh no, Cola's gonna be jealous. It didn't mean anything to me. She's just an android. She doesn't have feelings. I know, Elise, you have feelings. You're human to me, all this and that. But, shh. Just shh. It was a call from the Colonel. I'm here. With that, she cut the transmission. 7 in B4? Before what? Before we have sex, eh? I wasn't getting lost any longer, but I couldn't find my way there with only that. Yeah, you will. Elise answered me. Except, you're injured. You're supposed to be resting in your own room, right? But sure, why not? I see. Her independent action capability stood out more than before. Alright, let's go! We hurried to block B4 Corridor 7. We arrived at the location as instructed. The commando duo was already there waiting for us. Hey guys! What happened? Alright, I will. Oh, that doesn't look very friendly. It's up her ass. She moved aside to reveal another gruesome murder. This one required editing, extensive editing. The body was held fast by cables. It was a female trooper. She had the end of an outside radar transmission cable shoved up her butt. Electricity must surely have been flowing when it had been inserted. I could see the marks of burns caused by high voltage electrocution. I recalled seeing the victim in CIC. Once again, the engineering staff had been hit. Not again. But wasn't there a commando guard with her? Yes, there was, but she was injured when the enemy attacked, Giulietta said. Giulietta bit her lip in frustration. I did first aid and had to wait until your arrival, Captain, Kaminsky said. It seemed that my title had sunk in, thanks to Carla. That will make my work a bit easier. Corporal, summarize what happened for the captain. At the sergeant's call, a commando came forward, supported by her comrades. I remembered seeing this commando before. It was Corporal Trepo, the girl I had met in the hall after the Tsui incident. Her head was bloody and wrapped in a bandage. The commando named Diana was supporting her. You had to get the little nip slip in there, didn't you? Didn't think I would notice, trying to get me, and another one over there, trying to get me banned from YouTube. Critical Point. Not nice at all. Explain it again for the captain, Giulietta said. At Giulietta's request, she raised her head in spite of the pain and proceeded to fill me in. As I filled her up. No, that's not happening. Unfortunately. There was a loud noise. As I turned to check on it, I was knocked across the corridor, Trepo said. The loud noise was caused by the destruction of the monitor camera, Kaminsky said. The sergeant added an explanation. So, our opponent had realized a previous mistake. Is that so? That means that there's no video evidence this time, I said. But I did see our opponent, just for an instant, Trepo said. What? I asked. That was strange. It didn't seem likely that our enemy would be so careless as to leave a witness alive after going to the bother of destroying the camera. Did he think that Trepo was dead? Or maybe it didn't matter once his mission had been accomplished.
まだ彼女は脳震盪が収まっていませんが、顔ははっきり記憶しているそうです。
Her concussion hasn't been treated yet, but she says that she can recall the face clearly, Julieta said.
一瞬のことで細部までは。でも、もう一度会えば。
I didn't get all the details. It was just for an instant. But if I ever see her again, Trepo said. Her words trailed off. She was looking past me to where Elise was standing, just behind me.
こんな野郎!
You bitch! Trepo said. Suddenly, Trepo lunged toward Elise. She seemed to lose it when she caught sight of Elise. Even though she was injured, she swung a right at Elise. Swung right at Elise, okay? Let's just say it says that. I don't know, maybe Trepo had a bad experience with an android too, but she doesn't know Elise is an android, or does she? She's the traitor! Trepo's the traitor! Shoot her dead! Even a punch at full strength wouldn't have affected Elise, but I reflexively blocked Trepo's attack with my right hand. That punch might have seriously injured a normal person, but it was nothing for me since I took it with my non-biological arm. I twisted her around and held her so that she couldn't move.
話してください、態度の。
Let me go, Captain, Trepo said. What are you talking about? Explain, I asked.
こいつが襲ってきたんです。
That bitch! She's the one who attacked us, Trepo said. What? I asked. That's impossible. Elise was with me the whole time. Except when I was having sex with Carla in sickbay. Yes. When did the attack take place? I asked.
20分ほど前です。
About 20 minutes ago, Julieta said. That's odd. Lieutenant Triad was with me at that time, I said.
しかし、この女に間違いありません。
But there's no mistake. It was her, Trepo said.
そういえば、録画されていた犯人に似ているわ。
Come to think of it, she does look like the assailant we saw in the video earlier, Julieta said. Hey, everybody leave Elise alone. She has a lovely little pussy. And she let me do things to it. Leave her alone.
As she was at the side of the shuttle accident, doesn't seem like a coincidence to me,
Kaminsky said. Give me a break. What's going on here? You suspect her of causing the shuttle accident? If it wasn't for her taking shrapnel for me, I would have bought it. The shrapnel. She took it from me before I could buy it, I said.
Oh, she looks okay to me. What kind of sounds did you have? What kind of wounds? Not sounds. I hear things sometimes in my head. Like sounds. What kind of sounds did you have, Lieutenant? Wounds! What kind of wounds did you have, Lieutenant?
それは不思議よね。
That is strange, Julieta said. She's sharp. Elise's body has regenerative functions quite different from a normal human's. Her wounds have long since healed. Elise's, it was not as bad as I thought, air quotes. Speech wouldn't cut it with these two. Despite my worries, Elise said something that took me completely by surprise.
わかりました。お見せします。
Alright, I will show you, Elise said. Again with the hidden half nipple slip in the background. I've got to edit this entire episode and there's not even a lick of sex in it. This is ridiculous. Elise undid her uniform buttons and slid her top downwards. Her back was covered with a variety of cuts and burns and was all black and blue from being bruised. I didn't think our sex had gone that roughly, but apparently I was wrong. What the hell? She didn't have those injuries when I held her earlier. This seemed to be another one of Elise's abilities. She was like an octopus and could change herself to match her environment. Also, sometimes she sprouts tentacles and has sex with schoolgirls with them. Because Japanese hentai game, I don't know.
Whoa.
Kaminsky said.
思ったより表面的で軽かったので。 こうして出歩いているんです。
It was not as bad as I had thought at first. That is why I can walk around.
それだけの
Elise
気
said.
ならかなりの発熱もあるでしょうに。いい根性してるじゃないの。うちの部隊に欲しいくらいだわ。
You should have quite a fever with those wounds. You've got guts. I could use someone like you in my squad, Julieta said.
For sure.
Kaminsky said.
良い薬がありますから。
We have excellent medical facilities, Elise said. Yeah, excellent for banging Carla in, that's for sure. That was fun. You should have been there, Elise. Three-way, I'm still waiting for it. Her presence was much stronger with her functional limiters released.
納得されましたか？
Are you satisfied? Elise asked. No, not yet. You could finish taking off that blouse. With that, she straightened her blouse. No, wrong way, Elise. The other way. Take it completely off. Let's do this. While we were talking, Trepo's expression began to change. Her breathing deepened and her face became flushed. She grabbed her tits like a hawk and fell to the floor. Diana tried to hold her up. I understood what she was going through. It was exactly the same thing that had happened to Carla. I know how to handle this situation. Trepo, spread your legs. I'm diving in. Except that I couldn't do the same thing for her that I had done for Carla. I gave Diana an order. Why couldn't I? I mean, she wanted to go. Trepo gave me her number. She wanted to go out and have sex. She'd be perfectly cool with this, I figure. Get her to sickbay, fast, I told Diana.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Diana said. Diana took Trepo away, half supporting and half dragging her down the corridor. I hoped that the les thing didn't start before they got to sickbay. With that thought, I turned back to Julieta. Oh, thank God, finally something I don't have to edit. Thank you, Julieta, for keeping your nipples covered at all times until, you know, sex happens, maybe. Are your doubts satisfied?
そうはいきません。
Why not?
犯人との共通点があまりにも多すぎます。それに、態度のは事件当時彼女と一緒だったとおっしゃいますが、何をしておられたのでしょうか。
We were having sex, alright? Sex, sexy sex, sex. Naturally, I couldn't say that we were having sex. Why not? Brag about it, nobody cares. They'll be impressed, she's a pretty lady. Offering my thanks and checking up on her condition. Her sex condition that she has that I'm treating. I am a doctor, leave it alone.
なるほど。とにかく、トライアド少尉にはうろつかないでいただきます。
She turned to Kaminsky.
軍曹、トライアド少尉を武装解除して、衛装に監禁しろ。
Yes, sir.
Hey, what are you talking about? She has an alibi. I couldn't have Elise locked up just when we were about to go to work tracking down the cause of the problems.
彼女が衛装入りしている間に何か起これば、より彼女の無実が証明されますよ。
That's true, Captain.
But just then, Elise did something else that caught me by surprise. She stood before me and spoke. That's quite surprising. She's never done that before, standing before me and speaking. It's like walking and chewing bubblegum. It's amazing. Is there nothing this android woman can't do? Other than make a decent sandwich? Yeah, I know, Elise. That sandwich you made for me after all the sex was terrible.
私なら構いません。
Then she whispered quietly under her breath so that only I could hear her.
ご心配なく。今の私には並走の扉などティッシュペーパーほどの障害にもなりませんわ。
I think that's more has to do with the fact that the whole door is actually made of tissue paper. It's not all that secure, really. It's a terrible design. That's right! With her limiters released, she's more powerful than the main computer. She has hands and feet. Keys and doors mean nothing to her. Because of her hands and feet, apparently.
犯人じゃないかもしれないから丁重にな。
You'd better be! I'm having sex with that piece of hardware. I mean, that girl.
I get it. Now, we'll treat your little lieutenant nicely, Captain.
Kaminsky said this while he prodded Elise along the corridor in front of him. I could feel my face turning red. Kaminsky and Giulietta must have certainly noticed it. This was so embarrassing. Could I have fallen for Elise? With that, Kaminsky led Elise away, but turned back for a moment to speak to me once more.
You really surprised me when you blocked the corporal's punch like that. You must be right up there in power, right after me and the lieutenant. It's amazing what you can do with your bare hands.
Of course, my hands weren't exactly bare. Anyway, at least I had earned the sergeant's respect. Oh, Kaminsky, you old teddy bear, you wanna hook up later and cuddle? As I watched the sergeant take Elise away, I realized I had nothing more to gain by being here. I might as well go back to my quarters. Alright, I think I'm gonna cut it here. That was a nice little scene. Elise got hauled away and somebody died, and that was all very sad and terrible, but we gotta find this killer, man. We gotta find this killer and stop them from killing all the cute moon girls on the moon. Yep. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Andy McDaniel. Until the next one, see yous!